All right, so you've probably seen the news about Upbit lately. And if you're like a lot of people in the crypto world, you're probably wondering, okay, with all this going on, is my crypto really safe?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah. So today we're going to take a deep dive into what exactly happened with these Upbit sanctions and figure out what it all means for anyone, like you listening, who's engaging with crypto.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's really important to highlight right off the bat that Upbit isn't just some small player,
Yeah.
right? We're talking about South Korea's biggest crypto exchange here.
Exactly. So any regulatory action taken against them, yeah, it's going to send shockwaves through the entire market.
Totally.
So our main goal today is to, we really want to dig into these sanctions and understand what they could mean for trust in the crypto system as a whole.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
Okay, so let's get into the specifics here. The Financial Intelligence Unit, the FIU, they didn't just issue a warning or something. They actually hit Dunamu, which is Upbit's operator, with some pretty serious sanctions. So can you walk us through exactly what happened?
Sure. So the biggest thing was a 3-month suspension. Basically, new customers can't withdraw or deposit crypto for 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, that's going to directly impact their ability to grow their user base. On top of that, the CEO, Lee Si-koo, received what they called a serious disciplinary warning.
A disciplinary warning, that sounds pretty serious. Is it, like in practice, how serious is that?
Well, you would think it would be a big deal, right?
Mhm.
Especially in traditional finance. A warning like that would be a huge red flag. But here's where things get a little bit concerning. You see, legally speaking, Dunamu is classified as an IT business.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, not a financial institution. And because of this loophole, this reprimand from the FIU doesn't really have much teeth. It carries almost no real consequences for how the CEO manages the company.
I see.
Yeah, a lot of people have criticized this and see it as a very weak penalty.
So that begs the question, what exactly triggered these sanctions in the first place? What did Upbit do that was so wrong?
Well, the sanctions came down to some pretty alarming failures in Upbit's anti-money laundering practices, their AML.
Yeah.
Basically, the FIU found that they had facilitated tens of thousands of transactions with unregistered foreign virtual asset service providers.
Wait, hold on. Tens of thousands?
Yeah.
That sounds like a pretty major lapse in security.
Oh, it absolutely was.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just that. They also had really serious problems with verifying the identities of their customers. The FIU found that they were accepting what they called questionable IDs, and they weren't even confirming basic information like addresses.
Wow.
Yeah, and maybe even more concerning is that even customers who were flagged as high risk for money laundering were still allowed to trade without proper checks.
Really?
Yeah, so it seemed like they had virtually no meaningful defenses in place to prevent financial crime.
That's a really worrying picture they're painting. So bringing it back to the company itself, what about accountability within Upbit? Where does the responsibility lie for all of this?
That's a crucial point, and honestly, it's something that hasn't really been discussed enough. If their AML systems had such major failings, what was the board of directors doing? They are ultimately responsible for oversight, right?
All right.
And it's particularly striking because Dunamu really likes to tout their commitment to ESG principles, environmental, social, and governance.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But if they can't even ensure basic customer protection and prevent illegal activities, then those ESG claims start to ring a little hollow, don't they?
Yeah, it really makes you question how sincere they are about those commitments.
Yeah.
So stepping back a bit, it seems like this isn't just an Upbit problem, right? This has much wider implications for the crypto world as a whole, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. When you consider just how big Upbit is, the largest exchange in South Korea, these failures really erode trust across the entire market.
Makes sense.
Investors are going to start wondering, are my funds safe on any platform?
Right.
It creates a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah, for sure. So as you wrap up here, what would you say is the biggest takeaway from all of this? And, looking ahead, what needs to change?
Well, I think the core issue is that we desperately need stronger regulatory oversight in a crypto space.
Okay.
Right now, there are loopholes that are being exploited, and those loopholes need to be closed. Without stronger regulation, without more effective enforcement, investors are going to remain vulnerable. This whole situation with Upbit should be a wake-up call, a catalyst for change. We need to rebuild trust in the crypto market, and that starts with better regulation.
So for all of you listening out there, the Upbit sanctions are a clear sign that even the biggest crypto exchanges can have major vulnerabilities. So, it's a reminder that you have to be vigilant.
And I think it raises a really important question for each of you. Beyond just waiting for regulations to catch up, what responsibility do you have in evaluating the platforms you're using? What questions should you be asking to make sure your money is safe? Before you invest, are you doing your due diligence, making sure that the exchange you're using is taking security and compliance seriously?
Those are great points, and definitely something to think about as we all navigate the ever-evolving world of crypto. Ongoing scrutiny, constant evolution, these are critical for both user safety and maintaining the integrity of the entire market.
Absolutely.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for having me.